What is up, everybody? It is your boy Phil Shock in the 96 Joggeth. Yes, yet again, another draft analysis here, but this is for the APA Low Tier Division Draft League. If you guys don't remember, way back in the day on the first channel before this one, we did do APA Low Tier. We did have the opportunity to go and fight for a playoff spot, but I actually forfeited my potential chances for that spot. And I think it was just because I was kind of done with the season. There was just so many games where I was just not enjoying the format, and I was just done. I was just not really taking any pride in prepping for my games and everything. So this season, I'm hoping to bounce back for a vengeance and have a shot to go to the playoffs and hopefully pick up a low tier divisions champion. I have only technically have picked up one low tier division championship, but that was UU and below. And honestly, if you guys if you ever saw that, which if you ever do, I can't do that. So let's just say I entered a UU and below league. They allowed contrary and shell smash blastoise. That's all I will say. And they allowed hidden power, so there was that as well. So but looking at this format, there's no hidden power, there's no pursuit, there's no return, no single beam, anything like that. So this is going to be a really interesting season for a lot of us in here. But if you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Photoshop crew today because you really love the King of the Crew. So let's go over this draft real quick because I've got some exciting picks here and I really look forward to going into them. So first off, I want to let you guys know we were shafted so goddamn hard this draft. We got the 15th pick. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, what's wrong with the 15th pick? That's basically a wheel pick out of 16 coaches, you know? Why are you complaining about that? The only reason I complained about this because we allowed Galarian Slowking, even though arguably that thing is banned worthy in low tier. But they're going to see how if it's that broken in low tier or not. I honestly would not be surprised if this thing has gone into away from it, but excuse me. So I really wanted that, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Every single 18-point mon in the main 17-point mon I wanted got drafted because I was sniped all of the options. So I'm gonna go ahead and discuss. There were two original picks on this that we changed out, and I think makes the team a little bit more better. Doesn't really help with much, but I think opens up a lot of possibilities. But like I said, we had the 15 out of 16 pick, so we basically had a wheel. So I had a really kind of, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, about every single one of these picks, besides the free agent ones and the last pick, I had no idea for. So it is what it is. So let's go ahead. So originally, my first pick was Zygarde 10%. Now the original reason why I grabbed Zygarde was for that speed of 110, 115. I mean, which is really, really good. That decently good base 100 attack. Choice band sets, choice scarf sets, coil sets, and everything like that. But what I ultimately found out and what I felt like was it's just way too frail. It doesn't get to, in my opinion, offer a lot of powerful investments in stuff. So I ultimately just decided to switch out. We did allow megas this season that were low tier enough, and there were around 7 megas total. And I happened to grab the very last mega, well, before transactions and stuff, the very last mega that they had available, and I decided to now, technically speaking, make my first pick Mega Ampharos. Now, why did I grab Mega Ampharos, you might ask? Well, if you really think about it, what's one of the best things to come in electric types is Volt Absorbs. What's one of the best things to come in electric types? Ground types. So when you really think about it, Ampharos provides such great offensive capabilities from Electric Dragon, which is really, really good. Ground types really don't want to take really strong hitting Dragon Pulses to the face. Volt Absorbers don't want to come in and take a Dragon Pulse to the face. And what's also really good about Ampharos is Ampharos can almost essentially reliably run Volt Switch every single week, which is really good. There are some Rest Talk, Sleep Talk sets that you can do with Ampharos that I think is really interesting. But overall, I'm really excited to try Ampharos. I have used Ampharos, and believe it or not, Ampharos was actually on my first ever Gen, my first ever championship team, believe it or not. But that was a Gen 2 and below league. But still, I just realized that now too as I look at this Ampharos on our team now, and he's going to be the captain. He's going to be the captain. So I'm really looking forward to using the Ampharos again, and I definitely think the fact that we had a Mega, I think is going to provide a lot of great options for us. So, with my second pick, this was originally the pick, and I'll obviously go over the second pick, and then we changed it. But I grabbed a Araquanid, which was our first real high point value mon in 17. Now, I grabbed a Araquanid for a few reasons. Well, I think like web support for certain mons on the team that you'll see later, I think was really, really good. Overall, Araquanid is also just a really good defensive nuisance. It's also a very, very strong water type and bug typing that I thought was really, really good to pick up. It just really just destroys so much, which is really good. It's a really good mon to it, not get burned, so it can come another Will-O-Wisp, which is really good. Again, it can freely set up webs whenever. It's also just a really good annoying Pokemon. Excuse me again. Also, ignore my cat. I don't know why he does not be quiet. Oh, AJ, quiet, please. See, he won't listen to me. Or maybe he does. I don't know. But I grabbed a Araquanid just because it was just super really good and it was a really good value. And plus, I knew this was never going to make it back to me. So since I basically had a wheel pick, I had to pick it up in this round because I know for a fact it was not making it back to me in round 3/4. So going on my next wheel pick, essentially, I was thinking to myself, okay, what can be really good to pick up, especially in a low tier draft? Do I want to grab something that's a good swap sweeper? Do I want to get something that can be really annoying? Or it could be something that's relatively fun to use? And I picked up Linoon Scout. Now, there's a fun story about this Linoon. Back in the way days of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, when I grabbed my copy, I just did like I believe it was just a normal Wonderlock Nuzlocke challenge, and I actually got myself a shiny Linoon, and that's why for those that never run Shiny Linoon, I will run it because it reminds me of that really special moment when I got a Shiny. Because I am a Shiny King when it comes to Wonder Trade. I'm going to tell you that right now. But that's beside the story. So, why did I grab Linoon? Everyone knows what Linoon does. Linoon does one thing best that Linoon always does well, and that is Belly Drum E-Speed Gluttony. It is so broken. It is so great. But there's actually something that's really, really kind of cool about Linoon is if it gets rid of that extremely bulky steel type, that really annoying ghost type, and there's nothing but maybe a weakened rock type or anything like that, there's some possibilities with Linoon. Like Linoon could run belly drum quick feet for +6 facade. My god, that sounds terrifying, doesn't it? It's just so good. I really think Lanoon can be really good. And obviously, Lanoon has the reliable extreme speed belly drum set. Base 100 speed's relatively good as well for a team like this, even if we don't take advantage of the full speed tier. It's so good to have that, especially on a Webs team as well, where even I could run Banded Linoon without the access of having to be very setup heavy. Even though it kind of does rely on being setup heavy for that, but again, it's just that Linoon is such an offensive threat, and I'm really excited to try Linoon again for another chance. In the Parallel Noon, I grabbed myself one of my favorite fairy types to use in Draft League, and I'm pretty sure this was not making it back to me if I did not pick it up this round. I grabbed a Robotease. Now, what's really good about a Robotease? Excuse me. What's really good about Aromatisse on this team is Aromatisse provides Trick Room. So you look at my team right now, you look at the first 4 picks, and then look at my next 2 picks. Trick Room is kind of saying hello right here. And that's why I really went with the direction with this team once I made the transactions. This team now goes into not only a Trick Room route, but a Webs route as well, as you'll see with the later picks I get. But ultimately, I felt like Aromatisse was a good fairy to pick up in this format, just because I think for me, it was probably arguably the best fairy left that of some of the fairy types that were getting picked up. Wish support's really good, Cleric supporting, and was having Aurora Veil, which means I cannot be taunted, which means I can freely go for wishes. I can freely go for a calm mind or a nasty plot or a trick room. I can just freely do whatever I want for anything like that. And I feel like that's a really great value and a really good opportunity to kind of just be able to do what I can to provide the offensive support or the setup for Romantiz. So going into the next set of picks, originally I was thinking to myself, okay, I want to get an electric type, I want to get a dark type, I need to get again a grass fire to finish out some cores. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? Let's grab more Pecco, and I grabbed it. And after For some reason, seeing this still stay on the board afterwards, I decided to drop more Pecco, so sorry Marnie fans, and I grabbed a Alolan Muck. Now, I know we're using Alolan Muck in WWC. I understand that, and I know that. But hear me out. We grabbed a Alolan Muck off of a transaction. We actually kind of just like it with this one. And it wasn't originally supposed to be on the playing field for that until we made the transactions again. And it also wasn't meant to be used for week one, which if we didn't have it for week one, we probably would have really had lost instead of losing the way we did, which I'm not going to spoil that, by the way. So I went with a little Mug again in a low tier form because there's not as much ground types. There's not as many really offensive fairies that really like to come in and handle Muck. And I just felt like Muck was just a super good pick to get. Muck just provides so much good defensive utility, offensive utility, really annoyance as well with Poison Touch, a really good Assault Vest user, a really good knockoff user, which getting good knockoff users, especially with Stab knockoff, is really, really kind of hard to get by, so I definitely wanted to make sure we got something like that. Ultimately, I felt like Muck was a perfect fit for this team, and believe it or not, that was my only transaction I wanted to make besides Ampharos. The rest of the team, we're going to just try out and see how it goes, and just hope for the best. So, to pair with Muck slash Marnie, I actually grabbed Tangela. Now, why did I grab Tangela? Tangela's move pool, very shallow, very, 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 very limited. But its limitation is one of its best sellers. So, what has Tangrowth been known to do a lot? Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, and be annoying. However, Tangela makes it more annoying because of the fact that Tangela not only can be very specially defensive at times with Assault Vest, with like Tangrowth, but it does it better because it has Eviolite, and without the Assault Vest, you can't run Leech Seed or Sleep Powder with Tangrowth. However, Tangela, you can do exactly that. It makes Tangela in low tiers like this arguably pretty kind of busted to get for getting a Leech Seed user, getting a Sleep Powder user. It's really, really good, and I'm really excited to try Tangela. We were originally going to have Tangela in WWC, but I had to drop it because I needed to get a better grass type for the team that I was going for. And I'm really excited to try Tangela here. I don't know if it's going to be really good. I just looked at its move pool. It's very, very shallow. Like I said, it gets access to moves like Knockoff and Sludge Bomb and Ancient Power, I believe. But it's not really much coverage wise. I think, if anything, Tangle is going to be more of that grass type that just provides utility and maybe some grass type offense, but not too much else for that. But I'm excited to try it nonetheless. So going with my next wheel picks here, I actually went and picked up Medicham. Now, again, I know we have Mega Medicham here in WWC, but I've never used regular Medicham. And for anyone that's wondering what the difference is, the only thing is Mega Medicham hits harder. That's literally the only difference between Mega Cham and regular Medicham. They both get pure power, which is not too crazy. They both get the exact same move set. There's nothing that's different again except the stats and the offensive prowess. That's the only thing that's different. What makes Medicham slightly a little better though is the fact that it can run a choice band. It can run a choice scarf. And what's pretty funny is it says base 60 in both attack and special attack. It can be a relatively good special defensive Pokemon with Calm Mind and everything like that. Base A speed's really good to take advantage of those sticky webs that I do have. And there's also neutralizing potential Scarfers as well, even though if I could rescarf or Bandage, depending on matchup. But overall, I felt like Medicham was such a really good pick to get. And I think getting a one that can relatively be a choice band user and anything like that is super really good. We will be naming it Dakota Kai because of the nickname for WC, and I felt like it was just the most appropriate name for that for Team Kick It. To pair off with Medicham, I actually grabbed Typhlosion. Now, I've never used Typhlosion, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, the fire types left were extremely horrendous. I think besides Typhlosion, at that point in time, I believe either Magmortar or maybe, just maybe, Flareon was left on the board. But I went with Typhlosion for two reasons. One, its ability to be Flash Fire to give me a fire immunity, which is really important for a good amount of my mons on my team. But more importantly, I mean, choice Scarf, choice Specs, Eruption, anyone? Like, does anyone want to just die or anything like that? You know, Power Solar Beam. there's some really good options, especially with having sticky webs as well. That Typhlosion can actually provide a really good unoffensive pressure under the right situations and the right matchup. So yeah, I really think Typhlosion is gonna be really good, and I'm excited to try it. So with my next wheel, I actually picked up Drifblim. Now I've never used Drifblim, and I forgot to nickname him, even though he was already nicknamed on my paper. We're gonna name him Airhead here. We're gonna name him Airhead because balloon, air, yeah. I know I'm not funny, but we have Drifblim here. Now the main reason I drafted Drifblim was for a few reasons. One, Aftermath can be a really annoying thing for a lot of people to face. Two, I needed to get a ghost type and a flying type. Plus three, I needed a defog, and plus four, I actually was able to pick up myself and a Birdemon and a Flare Bluesmon. So the access to doing these is very, very cautious and very, strategic. And also it gave me a defogger, which I really, really needed because now my only way of removing hazards was originally just gonna be more Pekka, but now it's kind of on Driftblim to be the main hazard removal. But that's fine. Overall, I felt like Driftblim puts in a lot of good work for a team, and I don't know if it's really good because of it's a typing. I don't know if it's abilities, but I felt like it was really good pickup, especially the fact it's got Will-O-Wisp, it's got Strength Staff, it's got Hex. It's got some really good niche options, and I definitely think Driftblim's going to be a very interesting one on the list this time, and I'm really excited to try it. With my last and the pair on this next wheel, finish off, we got Skillet here, my Alolan Dugtrio. Skillet is by far my favorite rock band out there. If you guys have never listened to their music, definitely listen to their music. They have such amazing rock ballads and then rock that has such romance behind it and just emotion. And I really think a lot of you would like it. But I went with Alone Dugtrio because this was originally Team N. Plus, I felt like I needed a Steel type. This was still flying around, which is not a terrible Steel type. It's not the best Steel type. It's basically Dugtrio with Steel typing and hair. So it's okay, but that base 110 speed set's really what's coming in really good, especially under webs. I think it'll run Adamant. I think it'll run Life Orb with Adamant. It's just super, super really good. And I think Dugtrio is going to be very interesting. I've never used a lone Dugtrio before, so it's definitely going to be an interesting pick this season. And with the final pick of my season, I grabbed Regis. And I'm not going to lie, guys, Regis is a fun mon. I really do love using Regis. Regis actually, low-key, can be very, 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 very good if played correctly. There's Rock Polish 3 attack stats, there's Rock Polish weakness policy. There's just so much to Regis that's actually really good. And I think under webs or Trick Room, it can actually be a massive threat. So definitely something to look forward to. But yeah, that's going to be the team, guys. Definitely leave a like, comment, rate, subscribe if you are new. Join the Pro Shock Recruit today because you'll be feeling the king of the room. I do know that I have 4 mons that are weak to Stealth Rocks badly. But again, there's no... would I ever have to bring all 4 of them? Who knows? But what I do know is that I'm really looking forward to this season, and hopefully we can win at least a few games, and hopefully do our best to try to show how good of a player we are this season. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Phil Shocker Crew today because you'll be really the king of the crew. Let me know what your favorite mon is down in the comments below. But until next time, guys, I'm Phil Shocker, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.